I'm over it. I'm tired of all of these stories that leave us all drained and depressed. I told myself in 2021, if it wasn't making me money, helping me grow, or teaching me something, I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Plus, I think it's enough outlets that are telling all the horrible things going on in the world. You would think nothing good was ever happening. Yes, good things are happening. Now, before International Women's Month is over, we'd have to congratulate Meg Thee Stallion, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Blue Ivy on their Grammy wins. Beyonce has now broken the record for the most Grammys for any singer, male or female, tying her with Quincy Jones for the most Grammys for any living person. Blue Ivy has now won the second youngest person to ever win a Grammy because of Brown Skin Girl. Who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? You know we had to shout them out. Our first good news story is brought to you by Tessica Brown. Now, most of us know her as the Gorilla Glue Girl.
You wipe it off and nothing happens. Like, this is the life that I'm living at this point. Like, this is the life that I guess I'm gonna have to live.
Let's just say she learned a lesson the hard way. Talk about a sticky situation. Although a lot of us weren't moved by this story, she really made the best out of it. Now, empathetic people donated over $23,000 to her via GoFundMe. Now, when Dr. Obing decided to do her surgery for free, Tessica donated over $20,000 to the restoration fund. She was able to keep her hair and gain a little respect. And who am I kidding? Who else is using Gorilla Glue on their next relationship? Our next story is through Indianapolis, and it's from a kid in Stony Brook Middle School who refused to take off his hat. When Principal Jason Smith pulled him aside and asked him what was going on, he told him that he really didn't like his haircut. Now, although his hair looked fine to Principal Jason Smith, he understood that the student's lack of confidence in his appearance was affecting him from going to class. So Principal Smith asked him if he cut up his hair, would he go back? Then Principal Smith went and got his clippers and cut the boy's hair and sent him back to class. This is such a good story. And I'm not crying. You are? No, but this story really touched my heart for two reasons. The first one, it was that he listened and was empathetic to somebody who wasn't completely his equal. This is something that people need to learn every day. Oh, I just thought that it was so caring. And number two, representation. Not only for men, but for Black men. A lot of people would never have understood what this kid was going through. Principal Smith went on to say that although this haircut seemed trivial to most, for a Black boy in middle school, this haircut meant the world. To me, this is a lesson that can't be taught all the time so easily. I'm sure this student will be forever indebted to Principal Jason Smith. Lastly, let's talk about NBA All-Star Weekend. Now, it just wasn't all fun and games. And even though some of us weren't as excited as we were for previous years, the NBA really showed out for HBCUs. Now, some had even had $500,000 in scholarships before the game even started. Once the game started, an additional $750,000 was at stake. Then the skill competition added an additional $1.2 million. By the end of NBA All-Star Weekend, $3.1 million was donated and raised to HBCUs. People, we can either watch these horrible, dreadful stories all day, and although we need to be updated on the news, it always leaves us so drained and depressed. Or we can start to highlight some of the great things going on in the world, no matter how big or how small. We can decide to celebrate or be drained. What you choosing? What? You knew what I was choosing. I'm always celebrating. Cheers.